Hi friends, welcome to Crochet with Coffee, and thank you for joining me for another WIP Wednesday with our Thrift and Lift blanket that we're making. So if you haven't seen episode 1, I encourage you to go watch that one before you watch this one if you want to see any of the surprise picks that we did for episode 1, because I will be showing them this week since I'm going to be working on the blanket. So if you haven't watched episode 1 yet, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what we're doing. And that is, I have a bunch of thrifted yarn. I have 2 baskets. So I've got two baskets of thrifted yarn. And I am randomly picking from that basket, closing my eyes, doing a pick, and crocheting with that yarn. So I'm doing no more than 3 rows of the same color so that I don't have too big of gaps, because I want it to be really sporadic and weird. And you know, there's some, like, if I were to do all of this yarn in one time, it would be a big section of yarn. I also had someone mention that I could possibly hold yarn double, like the ones that I want to get rid of more quickly. Like, I would rather get rid of this one before I get rid of this one. Like, I think this one's going to be really pretty worked up. This one is just white, and it's a little sad and boring. So, white has its place. I love using white, but when this blanket is being, its purpose is to be crazy, I think a little pop of white is nice, but not a whole huge section. And also, with the gray that I used last week, I could have used all of this up instead of just using what I used last week of just the half. So I will probably partially implement that, where with colors that I want to work through faster, I'll hold double, and ones that I want to spread out a little bit more, like the colors that I like, I will maybe do one hold it single instead of double for those. Like this one, because this one has a color change in it. I don't know that I want to hold this double. I think I'd like to just watch the yarn change color. So for this one, I would probably hold single. This one and this one, I would probably hold double. So we're gonna work with that a little bit so that I can work through this a little bit faster, because I do have some yarn that's super chunky. And you know, we can even it all out, because I have some that are thinner, some that are thicker. It's just a variety. It's a fun pot. So I also had another suggestion of sorting the yarn out, either like a 3-weight, 4-weight, and chunky yarns, and do a blanket each for those. And I love that idea. I'm not going to do it for this blanket, because this one is supposed to be weird and crazy and all that, but I do love that idea, and I do have plans in the future for another mystery pick for colors for a different blanket after we're finished with the Thrift and Lift blanket. So if you weren't here last week, what we do is we thrift the yarn, which I have this nice stash. I'll show you my other basket in a second, and we are just going to pick out a yarn and lift it. So that's why we're calling it a Thrift and Lift. So let me show you the other basket, and that's the one that we're actually going to be picking from today, because I'm trying to alternate basket 1 and basket 2, and last week we left off on basket 1. So we had picked from basket 1 last week, so I'm going to start with basket 2 today. So this one, so excited. All right, ready? Ooh, what is, I think this one wanted to be picked. Did you see it clinging? It wanted to be this one. This one wanted to be our next pick. All right, so this one is a Lion Brand Chenille Sensations. It's velvety soft, rich blended colors, luxuriously spun to surround you in splendor. That's what it says. is so pretty. Look at those colors. So it is like almost like a black blue color, and the teals and purples and medium blues. It's going to be really pretty. So like this is an example of one that I'm going to want to work with just a single strand because I want to see how these colors work up because I think it's going to be really pretty. And then here's the thing I'm not sure about. How is it going to, is that tangled? It looks like it. Let's see if we can find a good end. But just so you know, this one calls for a size 7 hook. And it says to hand wash. I'm not a hand washer. I mean, I wash my hands, but I don't wash things by hand. If I can't chuck it in the washer, it's going in anyways. All right, so it is acrylic, and let's see. It's hard to see what else it says. It says it's 1.4 ounces, but I don't know if any of this was used. And then the color is Amsterdam print. So there's the label. There's the color. And let's get started on this one. I'm so excited. See, even though these blues are not really my colors, I really like these together. I feel like this is going to be really pretty. All right, so let's start. And today while I'm crocheting, I am going to be watching some of the Yarn Geek. She's really sweet. I love to watch her videos, and she's going yarn shopping, so we all love that. All right, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to crochet a little bit, and I'll meet back with you when I'm ready for my next pick. And then I am not going to do more than 3 rows together. So like this one had 3 rows on top of each other here, and that is where I ended. But then on this side, I only had 2 rows on top of each other. So that is why I didn't want to do, I ended on the end here because I didn't want to go back over to do like a 4th row here, even though it would be a 3rd row down on this side. I hope that makes sense. Because I didn't want to stack it 4 high, even if it's on just one side. So I'm going to start from this side, and I am following a tutorial for a granny stitch in the row blanket, and the pattern is by CJ Designs, and I have the link in the description so you can go visit that if you would like to make a blanket as well with this style. It's really nice. It's just a granny stitch in the row instead of in the round. All right, so I'm going to get into my show and crochet up this color, and I'll give you an update once I get to the end. Oh, and we also, I think that's the end. Looks good. All right, so I'm going to work with that, and I'll meet back with you when I'm all done, and we'll see where it goes from here. Okay, so I've changed my mind on holding the yarn single, double, triple, whatever. Look at this. Alright, so there's this one held single, right? And then I was holding it triple. Look how much nicer that is. Alright, so I stand corrected. So how I'm doing it with standing or with holding it double, and I'm going to rip out the rest of this, but I just want to show you how. I'm just going to rip out this one row. I got almost the whole way across. And then I kept looking at my yarn and I was like, do I want to? Do I not want to? I don't know. This is what we're going to do. We're going to hold it double or triple, but the way that I'm going to do it, like this did not change the look of it much at all with this one. You see, this is the thicker one and this is just single. It did not change the look of it, so I didn't lose that cool color change. And like for this one, I have enough, it's like the long stripes in this, so I have enough to do this tripling over where it's not going to affect the color of it much at all, and I can plan around that. And the way that I'm doing this to hold it triple, if you haven't seen it before, alright, so that's the end of my triple. You see how there's a loop there at the end? I'm just going to pull it through like that, and then your new strand just doubles over itself, and then when you hold with the live yarn, it is triple. So that's what I'm going to do, and even when it crosses over right there, it's not thick. Like it blends over so well. That loop there, it does it really well. I've used this technique before and it's really helpful. So let me start at the beginning and I'll show you how I tie the knot for the slip knot to begin it, if you want to do this as well, because I just think it looks better. I'm not going to take out the gray because I feel like it's thick enough. You know, it looks all right. I think it'll blend itself in the mix of things. So I'm not going to do anything with the gray, but I am going to go forward doing that, I believe. And then I was thinking too, if I pick an eyelash, then I'll just pair it with a light color so that it can go through without it. And then I don't know, maybe I'll triple the eyelash as well. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll triple the eyelash and... Oh look, I have 2 eyelash. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I am going to restart this row, hold it triple, and go from there. So I'll come back when I have frogged this last row and show you how I start the 3 strands together. Alright, so I have frogged it, and here is my end. So I'm just going to take, double it up like this, and then I have my doubled over, this is my end, this is my doubled over, and I'm going to just line this up with this, and that is my 3 strands. So I'm just going to do a slip knot like I normally would. Like that, and now I've got a chunky piece of yarn. So then when I get down to the section where it goes back down to 1, what you're going to do is just take that yarn and loop it through your little loop there. See that? And then you're just going to pull it down and you make it another 3-strand cord. And then you just keep doing that the whole way. Every time you come to this bottom loop here, you just pull the yarn through and pull it through, and you make another 3-strand piece. And that is how you hold it 3 strands thick. Super helpful. It's really nice. So thank you guys for your suggestions, because we're combining them both and we're going to do kind of the same thickness all the way through the blanket. So thank you for your suggestions. We would be all wonky and everywhere without you. So if you guys have any thoughts or suggestions, leave those in the comments, because you never know how it's going to help. So I appreciate that so much. So I'm going to get started on this row, and I will check back in with you to show some progress, and when we and then also when we pick our new color. So I'll be right back.
Girls for Randy and Nick on Tuesday nights, and he is not going to be able to tonight, so I am. But he asked, he didn't say, okay, you're watching the kids. He was like, please watch Emmy and Pappy, and I was like, of course I will. Okay, so here we are. We are at Hobby Lobby.
All right, so I finished with this color. It looks beautiful. I love it. All right, and so we are going to add our next color. I'm going to do a new pick, and we are going to see what our next color is. I have chosen to go with a 9mm instead of continuing with the 8mm, because it wasn't large enough. Because if I'm going to plan on doing everything in a chunky, in a chunky way, I needed to go up a size. So I got my 9mm. I know that's probably driving everybody nuts to start with an 8 and then go with a 9, but I think it's an unnecessary thing. And we're just going to count the first few rows as experiments and go with it from there. And leave it so that we have a memory of the crazy we went through. All right, so I'm going to do a new pick, and we are doing basket number 1 this time. So ooh, this is fluffy. All right, this is what? I don't know. No label. But it says $3. I know I didn't spend $3 on this. I think it came in a variety bag for like $1 or $2. Yeah, I didn't spend $3 on that. But there we go. All right, so this buddy, you can see how thin that actually is, because it's not like, you can see that fuzz is not actually the width of it. So I might have to triple this one too. I'm really not sure. I'll test it out both ways and just see what it looks like. See what one I want to do. See if it looks okay by itself or if I'll triple it. Let's see here. You guys could do something like this as, with scrap yarn or anything that you want to do. Like, you don't want to actually pick yarn and try to place it together. You just do random picks. That would be a lot of fun. Alright, so I did one cluster held single, and let's do this next one held triple and see how it goes. Oh, I think it's single. I think single's the way to go. Yeah, I think that's Look at how fluffy that is. How careful. This is single. So we're just going to do single for this one. Alright, let me get going on this and I will be back when the yarn is gone and we'll do another pick. I think that'll be our last pick of the day. So let's see how far this one gets me. Yeah, we'll see. But it's really soft and fluffy. I'm kind of on the same, other than that, like this one, I really like the combination of colors. Really like the combination of colors, how they're so bright, but we're still in the same color scheme, kind of. So, you know, maybe we'll get some more of the fall colors I like. Maybe with the next pick we'll start on something like that. But alright, I'll be back and we'll see what we get next. We're done with color number 2 for today. Ooh, it's so soft and squishy. But look, it's stacked on top of the gray. We need some more colors. Need new colors. Okay, let's do our next pick. So we did 1, 2, 3. Okay, basket 2. Let's get a good one. And it's getting caught. Ooh. Alright, this is a Big Lots yarn. Big Lots. Never used this before, but I'm glad we got a new color. Alright. It's 1.76 ounces. Gala yarns, a mixed fiber acrylic polyester nylon. And that's all the information that's on there, other than washing instructions, which I'm going to ignore. Alright, let's see. Okay, there's a center pull. I'm going to do this held 3 strands again, and I'm going to, let's see, let's line this up real quick. Don't make a mess. Alright, and my end. Okay, again, double it over and back around like that. I'm taking that end, and that is what I will tie to the last yarn with the magic knot. And that is really just two, let's see if I can show you. Let's see if I can show you. I've got my, you want just really doing half knots. So it's going to be a the old yarn is just going to, you're going to tie a half knot around the new yarn like that, and new yarn you're going to tie a half knot around the old yarn. And then you pull that tight, and then you just clip off your ends right next to the knot. Just like that. I'm going to cut those ends. So there we go. And now we're just going to keep on going. Let's see what it looks like. Y'all, it's only a few rounds and it's getting heavy. That's cute. I like that. Excited about this one. Still in the same family, but at least it's a little bit more color than that dark blue or the gray. Alright, I'm going to get going with this and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, I am finished. It looks so nice. Yeah, holding triple I think was the right choice because it's like the equivalent of what that one is. I really like it. So I got 2 rows stacked on top there, and then this one's just 1 row, so about a quarter of it ended up being double. And the glitter there, love it. Alright, awesome. So for this, thumbs up or thumbs down. I loved this color, and I love this color, so I'm going to have to give a thumbs up for this one. I didn't like that so much gray was stacked next to each other, but now that I look at it, I think it's really cool. So this, that's what it looks like on this side. Yeah, I really like that there. It's a big blanket, y'all. Actually, that looks pretty neat right there. Yeah, I give a thumbs up. I like this one today. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love for you to click that subscribe button. And if you don't want to miss the next episode and you want notifications, you can go ahead and click that bell as well, so it will notify you when I post a new video. I do several other videos, so the Wednesday WIP is this one. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day.